Thank you for Patreon now for donating to the Patreon.
Hey guys, it's Vanity, Ezel back in another Card Fight Vanguard, Ezel and Vanity weekly reviews. If you guys enjoyed, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and let's get started, shall we? So, once again, we're getting few reveals, not full, leaks of full clan cards, which sucks once more. As much as I hate doing all those reveals and doing hour-long videos, I do wish we were getting 3 cards at a time, so I don't have to be paranoid of how long am I gonna have to wait to update my decks, and if I have to update my decks. So yeah, just stuff like that. So but you could speed up, that would be appreciated. But for right now, we have some pretty good cards. We have a card that, as much as I don't like part of its skill, I am actually excited for its return, and a lot of you will probably be surprised by that. So let's go and get the start, shall we? First up, we have Eradicator, Sweep Command Dragon. I remembered nothing from this, because even though Eradicators was one of the first few decks I played, it was Eradicators, Gold Root Tile, and Liberators, and all of them are trial decks. I don't think I ever bothered investing in Eradicators outside of that one pack that I got with Eradicators in them. Sweep Command never was a thing I knew about. And then I played 0, and then I got one Sweep Command and I mained it because it was really my only good main grade 3 at the time, and then it kind of kicked some ass, it kind of lost some ass, It was one of my more balanced decks at the time. This one makes me want to play Eradicators again. Grade 3 Twin Drive Excel Gift, 12k base, auto when it's placed on van or rear, Soul Blast 1, choose an opponent's front or rear guard and bind it, choose one of your opponent's back or rear guards, move to an open front row. Okay, whenever I play Eradicators, I never have a soul problem, so just getting a on-place van or rear, regardless of where it is, just fuck over a rear guard, that's good. That is good for me. It's good for Gauntlet because it's literally hands down, that already makes it one of the best grade 3s in my opinion for Eradicators. But then it has another skill. Auto van once per turn. When your opponent's rear guard is bound during your turn, choose one of your opponent's front or rear guards and bind it. So when it's placed on van, Soul Blast 1, bind one of their front row, pull one of their back row up, and then you take one of your then you take that front row that you just moved from the back row, and then you bind it. And what's even better is it doesn't move the back row rear guard to the from the same column up. It can move it from anywhere. So something in the back row center can move to the open front row left that you just made. That's how good Sweep Command is. But we're not just done there. If your damage zone has 4 or more cards, Counter Blast 1, Soul Blast 1, get an Excel Gift, choose an Eradicator from your drop, and call it. So on place, Soul Blast 1, fuck the opponent, they lose a rear guard, then you move something up to front row, then you bind that rear guard, and then you Counter Blast and Soul Blast another one, get an Excel Gift, possibly draw off it if it's an Excel 2, and then call the Eradicator you Soul Blasted for its skill. And you know what's best about this? This is an auto skill, which means you can do it during your battle phase. This thing is good. This is a main grade 3. You can put it as a side grade 3 for Gauntlet support, or even as a other option for Descendant decks. Either way, this is a fucking 4 of. I don't think I need to explain why. I'm sorry, I just find that funny that I said 4 of, but yes, that is a genuine true statement. I'm not fucking around. Then we have Metalborg, Mist Ghost. Everyone's gonna yell at me so much for not running this in my DP deck. I already know you are all yelling at me, even though I've checked the comments, no one has said anything yet. I know you're all yelling at me in your minds. So, Mist Ghost, grade 1 boost, 10k shield, 8k base. Auto was placed on when this unit is placed on van or rear from hand, look at top 5, reveal to 1 Metalborg card, add it to hand, shuffle the remaining cards back to deck. If it was on rear when you added, discard 1. So if you put it on van, you just get a free top 5 search for a Metalborg card. So it can search for himself, it can search for the grade 2, it can search for the grade 3. That's nice. Hopefully we get another Metalborg card so this thing is actually useful. But it's fine. And then the reason you're all going to say why I should run this and why I'm going to also disagree with that point, auto rear when your grade 3 Vanguard is placed, Soul Blast 1, and that unit gets until end of turn, continues Vanguard, all your Vanguards get +5. Okay, sure, sounds good. Especially with DP that has a bunch of superior rights. Why am I saying that all of you are going to scream at me for not running this in my DP deck that went up yesterday? Here's why. Because my DP deck has the ability to get 2 rides in a turn. That doesn't sound like much, but yeah, it kind of is. Especially when both attacks are going to be hitting for BS numbers. So yeah, especially it's not a once per turn. It works during both main phase and battle phase. Y'all are going to scream at me for not running it in my deck, but my argument to you is it is a Metalborg, and you have to run Dimension Robos if you want to make that deck work. I mean, you don't have to, but it's me, and we both know I'm going to do Dimensional Robos anyways. So yeah, just being a Metalborg already means it can't go in that deck. Doesn't mean I won't put it in a devoted Metalborg deck, because it actually is a good support card. It's just not going in my DP deck, especially because the first skill is restricted to Metalborg. Either way, nice grade 2, 1, and I like it. 4 of, but she gives us more Metalborg so we can actually use this thing usefully. Then we have Dragonic Overlord, the Rebirth. I'm not going to spend much time on this one because I already did in my deck profile. So we'll go ahead and skip over him, but I just want to say, art. Love the moon, love the war-torn background, the wings look majestic as fuck, the war-down battle thing, everything about this looks cool. Grade 3 200 Force Gift, 13k base, auto event at the start of your battle phase, lock all your rear guards minimum of 1 until end of turn. At the end of its next battle, counterboss 1, discard 1, stand it. So, it's either you, and here's the thing, its other 2 skills require locks. We're not getting other skills that require locks, I know that for sure. So, or at least make locks in Kagero. So, either you, so either you use this skill or you play against Link Joker, otherwise the other 2 abilities won't go off. You have to use that skill or play against Link Joker, otherwise the other 2 don't go off because they both require locked cards. But either way, that's really nice. Easy cost, counterboss 1, discard 1, stand him. Okay, cool. I'm fine with sacking my entire board just to swing twice with Van, because it's not just swing twice, especially if you combine it with Dauntless, because that swings 3 times. But it's not just 3 times, and if you watch my deck profile, you'll understand why. But we'll get to that one in a second. Out of Van, when it attacks a Vanguard, Soul Boss 1, choose, for every 2 of your locked cards, choose an opponent's rear guard, retire it. So, Soul Boss 1, when it swings, if you have a full board of locked cards, nuke 2. Best part is about his first skill, he doesn't even require locking 5 to go off. He just needs to lock 1 and then automatically get that restand. So that's nice. Good skill. And if they stop there, I would say it's a good card. Nope, they didn't stop there. They made it so much better. Auto Van once per turn. At the end of the battle he attacked, if you have 5 or more locked cards and you have 4 or more cards in your damage zone, discard 2, stand this fucker, get a gift. So your first attack, he already gets a restand. Then he nukes 2 rear guards. Then he restands again after his next attack, after nuking 2 more rear guards. And he gets a Force 1. I say Force 1 because there's no reason to use Force 2 when all it's going to do is just give the Vanguard extra critical and your rear guards are going to be fucking useless during this game. So you just start shoving Force 1s on Van. This is just DP. They literally just took DP's gimmick and then shoved it onto this. Except this one's stronger because sextuple drive. I don't need to explain why this is good. You run it at 4 of, use it with Dauntless, you get 4 Vanguard attacks. That's, Hex, no. What's A? Octa Drive? Yeah, Octuple Drive. That's what this is. Octuple Drive. 4 of. If you want an explanation of it, go watch my deck profile. Then we have our 2 Foxy cards. We have Illusionist, Scientist, Researcher Fox, and Magical Scientist, Tester Fox, which I also did a deck profile on. It's going up tomorrow. So, spoiler alert. Anyways, skills. Grade 2, 9k... grade 2 intercept, 5k shield, 9k base for Researcher Fox. Auto additional rear guard. When a card is discarded from your deck, this unit gets +5 for the turn. Okay, shittier version of Barcode Zebra. If you don't know what Barcode Zebra is, it's like the best card in the lottery deck in my opinion because it's free. All it requires is that you do the deck's main gimmick, and it gets +5k every time a card is sent to drop. So if you send 6 cards a turn to drop, then motherfucker gets +30. So he's a 39k base. This one does the same thing, except worse because it restricts it to be on an Axel circle, while Zebra doesn't. So, if that was its only skill, there'd be no reason to run it outside of what Tester Fox does. But still good because auto, when it's retired from your rear guard by your card's ability, counterboss 1, you have to 1 card of the same card name as your Vanguard, reveal it, put it to your hand, shuffle your deck. Ah, yes. You get a free Excel gift basically because whatever your Vanguard is, you get it. So. Works with Chat Noir, who just kills your rear guards. Works with Big Belly, because you get a draw off his skill, then you get a free Vanguard copy off this skill. And you can also use it with, what's the one that we just got? Polaris? Does Polaris retire? Doesn't? I don't remember now. But, like, either way, Researcher Fox has so many options, and Tester Fox also retires, thankfully. So, yeah, basically freebie Vanguard search. And even if you don't retire by your Vanguard's abilities, there is such a thing as Compass Line. If you don't remember what Compass Line does, just murder a rear guard at the end of your turn. So, yeah, 4 of. No reason not to run in like a... Well, maybe not a 4 of outside of Tester Fox, because it relies on lottery cards. To be fair, we have Barcode Zero. Barcode Zero is 10 times better, but if you really think you're going to need that Excel gift, run it. If you don't, because it's a waste of a Counterblast outside of Tester Fox, yeah, just don't run it. But 4 of in Tester Fox. And the reason for it is because Magic Science Tester Fox, grade 2, grade 3, 200 Excel gift, 12k base, auto, when it's placed on Van or rear, Counterblast 1, put 2 cards from your drop zone to bottom, not mill 2, but put 2 back, and it gets +5 for the turn. Okay, I normally hate on play skills, but here's where it's going with it. If you put one norm unit in a trigger unit for the cost, search after one of this thing, call it to rear, and shuffle your deck. So, works on van or rear, gets 2 cards back so you don't die via lottery effects, gets +5, which is the minuscule part of this, and gets you a rear guard. Okay, we're good. And honestly, if they just made a skill that says all of your rear guards with research with Fox in their card name get +5, they could have just stopped there. They didn't. I mean, granted, they didn't really give that skill, but they gave a slightly better skill in act van or rear. Again, once per turn. Soul Blast 1, choose one of your rear guards, gets +10 for the turn. At the end of the turn, retire that unit, and if it was research or Fox, you draw a card. So, 1, he works on both van and rear for both his skills. So already, he's an amazing grade 3. He's like Chat Noir, but in my opinion, better because he can get more power, he can get you more rears, and, well, yes, he being a once per turn, he costs less counterblast, effectively, so, and he can get more of a board faster. And he can also work with Big Belly. And he works well with lottery decks because he prevents you from decking out. And he gets you a rear guard. And not to mention, if you kill Fox, you can draw a card, and then you can use Fox skill to get this. Both are good. Run them out of 4 if they're in the same deck. Otherwise, don't run this in a lottery deck, just use Zebra, and then run this in a lottery deck just to get cards back into your deck. So now we have one of the best reveals, in my opinion. Definitely not the best reveal, because I was hoping we would get a different grade 3. But I'm not disappointed by this. We have Conviction Dragon, Chromejailer Dragon. I want to let this be clear. When I saw this yesterday, I didn't think for a second we were getting a gold reveal. And despite the fact I didn't see its name, just by looking at it, I was able to recognize it. You want to know why? Because I loved Chromejailer. Like Spectral Duke, I spent time trying to get, and I succeeded on my first try in real life. I got 1 Spectral Duke, I got 2 of the grade 1 Vortimer, I got the whole ride line, but the only one I have 2 of is just the grade 1 Vortimer. Chromejailer I never was able to pull, but I remember him distinctly because I really like the Shadow Paladin feel of him, and I abused the shit out of it in Zero, and I am so glad I saw this thing pop up. I was able to tell immediately, like, holy shit, we got Chromejailer! And yeah, so anyways, grade 3 Twin Drive Excel gift, 12k base, beautiful ass art, looks like a divine being from heaven despite he being able to stack rear guards, but whatever. Act Vanguard once per turn, Counterblast 1, discard a copy of him, so Persona Blast, and it has to be from your hand, by the way. Look at the top number of cards of your deck equal to the number of empty rearguard circles. Choose any number of units from among them, call into rear, and shuffle your deck. So, if you have a empty full board, so you have empty 6 rears, you can call 6 from the top 6. So it's just Aggravating, but during the main phase. And for a slightly harder cost. Because Counterblast 1 is easy. If they made it only Counterblast 1, this thing would be way too good. They had to restrict it behind the Persona Blast. But then his other skill is this. Auto Van, when he attacks into anything, if all of your rear guards are full, Counterblast 1, Soul Blast 1, plus 10k, plus 1 crit for the battle, and if you're at Limit Break, plus 1 drive. So 22k, double critical, triple drive, backed up by a whole board. Here's my thing with this. This is incredibly possibly inconsistent, and the reason I say this is because the only way for that to go off most of the time without losing too many resources is for the first ability to go off, which requires that you have a Chromejailer to use. And you know, some people won't willingly sack an Excel gift for it. I can see that. I'm probably one of the people that would be very uncomfortable with sacking an Excel gift just to get a board that might get nuked next turn. But you get a board, extra crit, and 10k power just by swinging, regardless of what grade the opponent is on either of these effects, and a possible extra drive to boot. I don't know what to say about this. Like, I do think it's a skill that's interestingly balanced. If we got a directed searcher for him, I would say, and not just one of those on Vanguard searchers, no, I mean like a Vanguard and Rearguard that isn't just Garbo Duke. If we got one, I would say this thing is probably going to hit some tier level of BS because that is good. All it needs is the consistency to get a second one and you automatically have a win con in my eyes. But, good card. Love the art. I would shove this in with Spectral Duke if it was logical, but it is not. To be fair with you, I'm going to do it anyways, but 4 of Chromejailer, because if you run an odd number, you're an idiot, and if you run 2, you are probably not even using it as your main grade 3, so you gotta run 4. 4 of. Then we have some interesting news on Vanguard ride lines. So it's not like, I don't know how to explain this. Basically, we have news on the trial decks. So the trial decks are going to have easy to understand, easy to play. So they're going to have 12 card packs with them, I presume, or like there's going to be an expansion pack where you can easily upgrade your deck by swapping out the ride line. And the worrying thing about this for me is they are going to have tutorial cards. Now, with the way I understand it, and I might be wrong, but the way I understand it is this: the trial deck is going to have the tutorial cards, and the expansion packs are going to have the actual ride line. Now, I really hope that isn't the case, because if you don't get the expansion pack, that means you get the shitty ride line. And I don't want to have to spend time getting the expansion pack to get an actual ride line when it should have come with the trial deck. Now, if it's going to come with the trial deck to begin with, okay, not the worst thing, but still you could lose access to the thing and you might just get screwed over in packaging, and then you got to go through a whole thing just to get the actual ride line. Something I want to go through. So what I'm really hoping is I'm just misunderstanding this, and it's going to be the real ride lines in the trial deck, but it's going to come with an expansion pack of tutorial cards that have rules and knowledge about the game instead of actual effects that you can swap in if you're new to the game, but not to the point where you have to. I hope that's the case. I really do, because if it's not, I'm going to be really upset. That's all I have to say about it. Cool. That's all. And then we have Spike Brothers for our last reveal of Monday. I have no idea what we're going to get tomorrow morning, but I'm assuming it's going to be Aquaforce. If it is Aquaforce, it's not going to be Aquaforce. I remember they told us. I forgot what it was, but I know it's not Aquaforce. If we get Aquaforce tomorrow, fuck yeah, I predicted it on pure accident, but whatever. Grade 1 boost 10k shield, aka base of Reckless Express. Auto is placed on Van. You may Soul Blast 1. Sorry, if it's on Van, you may Soul Blast 1 for this cost instead. When it's placed on Van or Rear, Counter Blast 1, look at top 7, shoot to 1 normally from one of them, call it to rear guard as rest, and shuffle your deck. Okay. He gets you an extra rear guard. So that's nice for setup for later. So if you're going first, it's not the worst thing in the world. If you're going second, okay. Cool. I hate that ability though, because it costs a counterblast, and whenever I play Spike Balls, I tend to run into a counterblast problem. Maybe that's just me, but I'm pretty sure it's not. And auto rear at the beginning of your main phase, standard every grade 1 and good grade 1 and good grade 2 that Spike Brothers ever put out in V. Shove it to soul, search your deck for a copy of it, shuffle your deck. So every turn you essentially get another rear guard. Here's my thing. I don't know what our grade 3 is going to be for this. I have an assumption of what it's going to be, but Reckless Express, weirdly enough, is a good card in my eyes. Despite the fact I hate it costing a counterblast, it is actually good. Because every turn, you're getting an extra rear guard out. So while, yes, it's coming as rest, you are slowly developing your board, and your opponent can really do nothing to stop you unless they kill the Reckless Express that is on the field currently. And during your next turn, you can just keep calling rear guards and abuse the shit out of them. This technically gets you a free Bracky or Wonder Boy, even if they're vanillas for the turn they're placed because they're called as rest. Fuck it. Still a unit, and you can use it next turn. Reckless Express is actually a good grade 1. I think you should run out of 4 of just to see it for options. But in terms of reality of its use, I think it's going to be a 3 of, where one of them you want to ride. That's where 4 of them come in. Then 2 of them you actually use, and then the third one either ends up in damage or you just guard with it. So 4 of Reckless Express, I think, or just 3 of it, just because. But I think 4 is nice just because the extra one comes in for guarding. So go to grade 1, weirdly enough.
Okay, now it's time to wrap up the rest of these reviews with some Bermuda cards. So first up we have Duo Pretty Horn Ural. Grade 1 boost as 10k shield, aka base. Auto when it's placed on Van, search your deck for up to 1 dormant, bind it and shuffle your deck. Okay, first up, yes, none of these are Prism cards, but all of them act as Prism support. So already that's kind of good, because like Prism, if I remember correctly, they just focus on bind and shit. That's just a free bind. I don't remember what the grade 1 does. I think it's just a searcher. Well, whatever it is, Ural's better than this, because it literally just gets you a free bind just by being placed. And auto, when it's placed on rear from hand, choose to 1 normal unit from your drop, put it on the bottom. If the card put on the bottom has the same card name as a card in your bind zone, Soul Blast 1 to draw a card. So place it on Van, bind a card, and then when you place it on rear from hand, you can get more deck cards back. You can just recycle the thing that went to bind zone if it went into drop zone, and then if you still have a copy of it in bind zone, Soul Blast 1, draw a card. I think honestly that's pretty good. It's a really nice effect, especially because you can abuse it, because this is Bermuda's. We have balancing effects out the wazoo, so yeah, granted it has to be placed from hand, not from bind zone, so you can't abuse it with the most of Prism skills, but Ural is still pretty good. It's a really nice support card, so I think it's worth it 4 of, and I think the old grade 1 might need to step over. I mean, at least run this on a 4 of regardless, because that rear guard skill is genuinely good. Then we have Duo Mini Heart Rhone. I remember you faintly because you abused the hell out of me in 0. Grade 2 intercept, 5k shield, 10k base, auto rear. When this unit attacks for each card in your bind zone, gets +3 for the battle. Okay. If this is before you start looping your BS attacks, that's just really good because you get +3 for a lot of things, and it doesn't require a Duo and or a Prism Vanguard. It is just a skill. So that's nice. And active Vanguard or Rear once per turn. If you have a Vanguard Duo and its card name, Chiron Boss 1, choose a card from your bind zone, search it after one card with the same card name as it, reveal it, put it to bind zone. Sorry, put it into your hand and shuffle your deck. So your bind zone just turned into a free search. And it's a once per turn, but not once per turn per card. I'm sorry, it is once per turn per card. Which means if you have 4 of them, which I doubt you would, you can just basically get 4 searches of anything in your bind zone. So if you are grade locked and you hit a grade 3, this just gets it. If this and this are in your opening hand, you can just ride this, bind a grade 3. Well, fuck off. You can just say fuck off to any grade 3. Ride this, bind a grade 3 from your deck, get to grade 2, ride this, use her skill, and get the grade 3. Well, there goes my G assisting problems in V, that's for damn sure. For Rhone, because she just is a play enabler, as long as your Vanguard's a Duo. And if you don't remember, we did get a Duo Prism card a while ago, so yeah, Rhone works out pretty well. So 4 of, by the way, if that wasn't clear. Then we have Duo Temptation Reit. Okay, good news is, none of these were straight up Prisms. Bad news is, they're still applicable in Prism decks, and even if they weren't, they're still really good on their own. Grade 3 Twin Drive, Force Gift, 13k base, I like the art. Act Vanguard once per turn, bind Rearguard, draw a card. Okay, that is far more of a plus than a minus. Like, this is the Bermuda deck that wants Rearguards bound. It just... And then you get to draw off it to replace it. There is no minus to that. If it was a Counterblast one and then do that, then there would be a minus. If it was a Soul Blast one and do that, then there would be a minus. If it was a discard one, we'll just be swapping out a hand card. This is just a free bind a Rearguard draw. That's what this is. That's not even a minus. It's just a plus in 2 different ways. You get a hand card, and then you get a Rearguard unbound. Stupid, especially because the Rearguard you buy could just be something you can get with Rhone and or Ural. And then Auto Van, once per turn. At the end of the battle she attacked, Chiron Boss 1, discard 1, stand it, and lose the draft for the turn. Okay. So already we're in a good zone, but we're not done yet. Choose up to 1 card from your bind zone with the same grade as the card... with the same card name as the discarded card, call it to rear. And if the opponent's Vanguard grade 3 greater, you get a Force Gift. So, gets her own extra attack, gets another attack because of the unit that is in bind zone with the same name as the discarded card, and then if your opponent's Vanguard's a grade 3 greater, you get a Force Gift on Van. Not before you start calling shit, but after you call shit, you get a Force Gift. So they kind of stole the effect of the rebirth with the restanding and getting a gift during the battle phase, but who cares? Because, numbers are a thing. Her first skill is just a free plus. Her second skill, granted, doesn't sound like much on its own. I mean, it's still something, I tell you that much, because it is powerful. You know what makes it even more powerful? That stupid Bermuda Stride reveal that we got a while ago. You know, the one that allows for superior riding from Vanguard, so, you know, you just swing with her, then you get out of it, and then you ride to this, and then you get another Force Gift, you shove it on Van, you swing with it, then you restand it, get another Force Gift on Van. BS. BS is what I say to this. Reit is good. Even if they're restricted to Duo, we still had that Duo and the Prism thing, like I said earlier. Not going to be the worst thing, and then just the BS behind this is going to be so annoying. So, 4 of Reit in any Bermuda Duo / Prism deck, because this thing is stupid in more ways than one. And then we have some promo reveals for D promo volume 3. So we have 3 reprints and epics, that one Blaze Maiden card, and I don't remember what that card was from Dark States, but we have some new cards for Keter, Brantgate, and Lyrical Monasterio. For Brantgate, we have Sticky Monster Nubatron. Auto when it's discarded from hand during your turn. Soul Boss 1 and one of your units gets plus 5k for the turn. So that's really nice, just an easy 5k for a unit. I'm not going to say it's going to be ran in particular. I can say being ran in particular decks, but I know I'm not going to run it. Then we have Holy Crystal Dragon, Precede Arrow Dragon. Auto rear when it stands by your Vanguard's ability, you may draw a card. After you drew, choose a card from your hand, discard it. Could have made it so much better. Could have just erased the second half of that skill and then just keep the draw effect because it was restricted to the Vanguard being the thing to stand it. So there's not many things to my knowledge in both Premium and V that would, in D, that would allow this thing to stand multiple times. At least not to my memory, because it has to be by Vanguard's ability, so you can't just start sacking stand triggers with Vanargund. But it's still good. It's an okay card. It's an okay card. And then Enjoy Summer Days Holly. Friend continues rearguard. If you have another unit same column as it, that and this unit become friends. And act rearguard, Soul Boss 1. Choose 2 of your rearguards and swap their positions. You may think that just sounds dumb, and it kinda is. But it basically allows you to swap positions diagonally, which is good, so you can change anyone with the back row center, which means, your rows can switch now. My only thing with that is just, while yes, it is good, I have yet to see a friend card that would actually make a difference with. I can see it implying in the late game where you want different units in different positions, but I can rarely see this being useful. If we get a friend card that would do better in a main position for most of the game, and then you want to use it in the later position, then I could see it. But also, she doesn't require to be in the friend states for that, so you can't just abuse her with other decks, but I'm not going to do that because I would only use her in a friend's deck. So yeah, I think 4 in a friend's deck just because she has friends, but consider her for other options because she can just start swapping columns now, so 2 of 3 of maybe in another deck, depending on what the other deck is. And that's it for the reveals. I hope you guys enjoyed. We got some pretty good cards. We did. They're all pretty powerful. And next week we're getting Pale Moon's Sword Magician, don't remember her name, reveal, which is not a reverse, but fair enough. And then we're also getting Evil Stealth Dragons this week, and I'm hoping for Hanzo Reverse. So let's run a train on this baby. So, I'm going to end it here. Hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, join the Discord, follow Twitch, and I'll see you all next one. Don't forget to stand up your Vanguards.